Yo.
Assalamu alaikum wa
Alaikum.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam. What are you laughing for?
I don't know, because you made me laugh.
Am I a joke?
No, bro.
My joke to you?
No, bro, you're no joke.
Good.
No joke, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, man. Good, you?
Alhamdulillah, bro. Good. This is episode 2, isn't it? Second one.
Second one. Haven't even put the first one out yet.
No. We talked about, obviously, we're going to record a few episodes, isn't it? And then just put them out.
Got a plan.
We've got a plan. We've got a strategy for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strategic.
That's it, man. You got to be strategic with these things. We're taking it seriously, aren't we?
Trying to.
Yeah.
If you stop laughing.
I've stopped, man.
Nice.
I've stopped.
How's your week?
It's been alright, man. Just obviously had work. It's been slow, man. Like, obviously, it's because it's COVID-19 situation. It's just every day feels like every day. Like, I'd even, like how every day feels like Sunday kind of thing. It just feels like that.
Yeah.
It just kind of rolls.
Yeah.
Each day rolls into the next.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the weekend, and then we could just chill in it from work.
The weekend is the only 2 days that actually goes by too quick.
Yeah, and then the week goes really slow.
Like, how is it 4:30 Saturday already?
I know, man.
That's
I feel like, to be fair, I've been quite productive today, but it doesn't feel like it has.
Yeah.
Like, obviously helped my mum do some gardening and stuff.
Yeah,
helped
yeah.
out. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Goes too quick, man.
That's it, man. How's your week been as well? Been alright?
Same old. Nothing changes, does it?
Nah.
Same stuff every day.
I knew what you tried. You was gonna say a finger there. Just you had to stop yourself from
Try
swearing.
and keep it halal.
Yeah, we have to, man. We said that at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
And, let's follow through on that.
We should put the ground rules like on the wall.
We should, man. We should have it somewhere where we both could see it, like maybe on the wall over there.
We should have the Native Outcasts podcast ground rules.
Ground rules, and just have it like in bold.
Mm.
Have like them bullet pointed, and then that way we can't miss it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Your hair's looking mad.
Bro, I'm actually counting down till I get it cut.
It's actually proper long.
I'm gonna book my hair to get it cut.
It's so curly, bro.
In 2 weeks today.
What date is that?
25th of July.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that's like the weekend before Eid. So before Eid, my hair's gonna be.
So
fresh.
what's that, a Saturday?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So inshallah, it look fresh for Eid. Your hair's looking long as well.
Yeah, proper, man. I'll probably come with you.
Yeah, man. Get yours cut, or
Yeah.
you're still growing it. You're not sure yet, are you?
Don't know. Something. Who knows? We'll see.
Allah's unknown.
Allah's unknown. Indeed. Did you see about the Wayfair thing?
Oh yeah, I think you were going to mention it, but then
I stopped.
I cut you off, didn't I?
Yeah.
So yeah, tell me about it, man. Because
Right.
I've not heard anything about it. So I
Really?
don't know.
Okay, so basically, for anyone that doesn't know what Wayfair is, it's like a online shopping place for like furniture and like home goods,
Yeah.
wardrobes, pillows.
And they're quite good. I don't think I've
curtains.
bought anything from there before, but I've had a look on their website. They got decent stuff on there.
Yeah, they do.
For like
They
a
do.
decent price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Anyway, so there was a situation came up where there were a bunch of items on their website which were the same. So you'd have 2 separate listed pillows or wardrobes that were exactly the
They
same.
have like the same picture and everything.
Same
as well.
picture and everything, exactly the same. Yeah, but one pillow was like 10 grand, and the other pillow was like 50 quid or whatever. Yeah,
Mad.
and then people were like, why is it for the same item, why is it so different? Why is the price so different? And also, like, each product has its own name, and the names were also different. So the 50 quid pillow was just called like
They've
pillow.
got like they name them like people's names, don't they? Like Charlie or something.
Yeah, well, this is the thing.
Yeah.
And the £10,000 one was like named after like someone's name,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Who was that person like someone famous or?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. So all the people, and there were some unusual names in there, all the people who these products were named after were people who had like gone missing or been kidnapped or something.
What?
So then there was this massive conspiracy that came out, and it was always the more expensive item that was named after like the person who had gone missing or whatever.
Bro, I bet you the most expensive one was called like Madeleine McCain or something. From what you're telling me.
I don't know if there was a Madeleine McCain one on there. But it was crazy, yeah. And it was always the more expensive one. So this like conspiracy thing came out that are Wayfair involved in like, and a lot of the people, a lot of the names were of like children who had gone missing and
That's
been
messed
kidnapped.
up, you know.
So there was a conspiracy that came out that was like, are Wayfair involved in the trafficking of
Yeah, like human
children? And it was like a code
yeah.
for people to actually buy it. Because why would a pillow be £10,000 and called and named after
Because
someone?
obviously, like when
And it's not as well. It's not just a normal name like Steve. Like they're like really specific.
so it's like obviously
Unusual
a
names.
person of it's messed up, man. So like essentially, someone who's looking to like traffic a child or like buy a child would look at the name and know it's a code for
Yeah.
a child and buy it through
Yeah. There's like a whole subreddit on it, on the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
That's so weird, man.
Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, like
Like what are the chances of them naming a product for like 10 grand or 20 grand or whatever, and it's the same surname as a girl who had been kidnapped like recently,
yeah.
or gone missing recently, and like I say, it wasn't like just any normal surname. I can't remember what it was exactly, but
Was
it
there like
something-
multiple like products?
Yeah,
That's-
it wasn't just
that's
one. It was
really
just
weird,
it was
man.
loads
Yeah.
of different ones, and they were different products like wardrobes and
Yeah.
pillows and beds and.
That's actually messed up.
How crazy is that? And obviously Wayfair came out and were like, no, like obviously we're not doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
anyone
at the
would,
same time,
yeah.
it's like, that's a bit weird. That
Like,
you're-
what would that happen in the first instance? Like, yeah, you would come out and say, "Oh, I'm not involved in that." Anyone would, because obviously you want to protect your reputation. But
Yeah,
why is it like that in the first place?
I have no idea. It's
That's
weird, isn't it?
Proper like, baffles me, man.
I'm literally going on it now. It was trending on Twitter, basically, like the whole of yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't even see it.
Oh, actually, it says
I might
here,
missed it.
Wayfair confirms there is no truth to conspiracy theories about human trafficking. Obviously, they would confirm that, wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
they would, man.
Obviously. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a murderer wouldn't say they've committed a murder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Obviously, they wouldn't be involved. So it's called Wayfair responded to reporters' inquiries saying there is, of course, no truth to these claims. The theory appears to have started on Reddit's conspiracy subreddit.
it's weird like how people find this stuff out as well, isn't it? Like you'd think, like if Wayfair are doing this,
Can I show you an example?
yeah, bro, show me.
Check this. Like, look, they're just really basic cupboards and things. And look at the names. Like, they're not just like
Samia.
everyday names,
Yeah.
are they?
They're names of like, kind of like like people from ethnic minority backgrounds or like.
As well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, and those are the children that tend to be like kidnapped and
Yeah.
stuff. Like obviously in other countries, like poorer countries. That is really weird, man.
How weird is that?
That's messed up. That
So-
is messed up.
Naraya Yuritsa Alvia?
Bro, that's messed up. Inshallah, man.
And look how-
Nothing's like it's
Look how
not
much it is.
real.
Obviously, for anyone who's listening and they can't see, it's literally a white wardrobe with two
Yeah,
doors.
and
It's
they're the
nothing
same.
special.
There's like 4 different wardrobes, all the same.
All the same. And
Listed
they're like,
on like a website with
they're
their
like
names.
15 grand.
Yeah. Social media is a weird place, man.
You get free shipping though.
I love how they put free shipping. That's so messed up, and that it just shows like how of a messed up place social media is.
Yeah,
Like,
proper,
some of the
man.
stuff you find on there, and like obviously that's what we're going to be talking about today, isn't it? On our second podcast about kind of social media and the fitness of social media, isn't it, for us as Muslims?
Yeah. It's a big one that I think affects like not everyone, but like almost everyone of our age.
Yeah, as we just saw, social media is a weird place.
Proper weird place.
So, and obviously there's going to be so much content on there. There's going to be so much, like, so many different stories and stuff going on, and it's a scary place, but it's also a very good place.
What's 4chan? Do you know what 4chan is? It's something
a
to do
dark
with like,
web, right?
Is that what it actually is?
Is it? I think
I
it
don't
is.
know.
I
Like,
think
I've heard it's something on the internet where like crazy things happen.
it's like I think it's the dark web.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't really know too much about it, to be honest, but it's like I think people just go in and just that's where you find all the weird stuff.
A couple of things I know about the dark web is that apparently it was actually invented by like government authorities in America, I think, and it was invented so that they could do their like police work and stuff, like FBI and stuff like that online. But the actual like, I don't know what the word is like for it, but like, you know, the actual technology of the dark web somehow got leaked or stolen by like someone, and then it became like a wider thing,
public thing.
But the reason the police created it was so that any work that they do, whether it's legal or illegal, could not be tracked or traced. And then it obviously got leaked out to everyone. So now anyone can go on it and do whatever. And some of the things I've heard about the dark web is that you can buy, obviously, a lot of like kidnapped children, like Wayfair.
Yeah, it's really weird. There's like I've heard stories of like random like child pornography and
stuff like that. Yeah, you can buy like drugs on it. Obviously, you can buy like firearms. You can even hire mercenaries.
Is it?
Apparently, yeah.
I've heard stories like that, and I think like the police and stuff and authorities use it in an undercover way as well.
Oh, definitely.
And I think I've seen stories in the news, like I can't think of specific examples where they've busted specific cases of stuff like that. Like I think the police would pretend to be obviously a buyer or something like that, and then they would then kind of catch the people red-handed.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. Internet is a weird place.
It is weird.
There's that
I know a guy, sorry to interrupt you, I know a guy who bought something off of the dark web, like a form of drugs.
Is it? And
do you know how it came? It came through via the post.
Yeah.
Inside a birthday card.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Messed up, isn't it?
It's proper weird, man.
How crazy is that?
That's really weird.
Just in a birthday card through the post, like normal.
Mental.
Drugs.
Yeah. And it's just like normal, like nothing's happened. It's a normal parcel.
Yeah.
Like I think, the internet is a weird place, and obviously in the internet you have social media as well, and social media affects the ummah in many ways, like good and bad. So this is why we thought we'll do this as like this topic, because there's so much to talk about when it comes to kind of the internet, social media, and the effects it has on us.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
What's an effect it has on you? Or what sort of effect does it have on you?
It's good and bad, isn't it? Like there's good stuff on there. Like obviously we'll go into like deeper conversations on specific issues, but like I don't know. Like obviously it's good for like learning, obviously, like gaining knowledge on specific areas, whether that's like academically, news, religion. Like it's been good in that sense. It's bad in the sense that there's so many different content on there, and we have to be careful in terms of what we view, especially when you're growing up as well.
Yeah, mad.
Like you don't want to see the wrong stuff. And like as people who have children as well, they have to be careful what their children see.
Get that parental lock.
Yeah.
On anyone that's got children.
Know, like going back to your question in terms of what specific effects has on me, like I don't know really. That's the same as everyone else. Like you rely on it for like
it's just so easy to find stuff that you shouldn't be able to find that easily.
Yeah, like I feel like society's become like lazy, isn't it?
Proper lazy.
Yeah. It's just become.
And as well, you can see what's going on. Like you can see what's going on the other side of the world, literally as it's happening.
Yeah.
Mad.
That's it. I feel like because as you know, I only made Twitter like recently.
Yeah.
Like in the last, I think I made it literally like a few months ago. I started using it a few months ago, and like I use it like every day just for like news and to see what's going on. I feel like the internet and social media as a whole has become too like involved in our daily life. Like we rely on it too much.
Massively. Like every time you're bored, what do? You
just scroll and
keep scrolling.
It's so funny, yeah. Like yesterday, I said to my brother, like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna like watch Netflix. I'm gonna watch something," and literally, like, he just kind of left me. Like I was in my room with my laptop. Yeah. And he kind of left me about to like watch something.
Yeah.
And he comes back like I think an hour later.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, have you watched it yet?" I'm just like, "Nah, I've just been on my phone." and he was just like, "Literally, you're procrastinating. You're procrastination. Like you're procrastinating. You're like double procrastinating, basically."
What were you doing for an hour?
Just like on my phone, like scrolling through Twitter.
It is mad how quickly time goes when you're actually scrolling through.
Yeah.
And as well, like I have a massive issue with I'll go on my phone, I'll open up like Twitter, Instagram, whatever. I'll look through it for like 5 minutes. I'll put it down, and then like 5 minutes later, I'll look through it again.
Yeah, like you refresh your timeline. To see
like what's going to happen changed. Really? Like 5 minutes.
Yeah. This is where where the issues come for us, especially like younger like Muslims. The fact that you do get distracted by social media when it comes to your daily prayers and gaining like Islamic knowledge. like we're spending so much time on social media, and we're not spending enough time praising Allah and worshipping Allah, and that's where like the danger comes.
Definitely.
And this is one of the main reasons we thought we would kind of talk about this.
Yeah.
But on the top of your head, like Saf, what sort of dangers could you say the effects it has on like a ummah?
For people of our generation, I've got like two things, right? People of our generation is wasting time.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like for example, you were on it for an hour yesterday.
Yeah. And
a whole hour just gone like that.
Like in that hour, I could have been obviously like reading Quran or something. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
So not a whole hour. So I say wasting a lot of time for people like roughly of our age and generation.
Yeah, like our age
and below.
Well. Yeah.
I think for people who are older, like maybe our parents and whatever, obviously a lot of our parents now have like Facebook.
Bro, you know what they love? WhatsApp. And, yeah, the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Oh man,
they do the rounds.
My mum spends so much time watching like stuff on WhatsApp and YouTube videos, like these different conspiracies, and she thinks it's real, and like she gives me lectures on it. And
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, have you seen the one where I think it was big in like it was doing rounds in the aunties and uncles in the African community, where there was like people on a beach.
Yeah.
And someone was like filming out the sea, and a big snake. When I say big, I mean like it's like 100 foot tall.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
And it's like messing everything up. And that was like going around, and I saw like a screenshot of someone saying like something along the lines of like, someone delete this before the aunties start sending it.
It's a meme.
Yeah, or something like that. And obviously that particular one, the specific one with the snake, is stupid, but there are other things.
That's an exaggerated example. But
there are other things that go around that people think is like, or people of that age or whatever think it's real, and it's not, and they'll start telling you about it. So it's almost like spreading fake.
Yeah, fake news. I'll tell you one where my mum's recently been hooked on. You know, that Indian actor that recently committed suicide.
Yeah,
I forgot his name.
I don't know his name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
So obviously, a lot of people are hurt by that. Obviously, they watch his films, they kind of looked up to him, and whatnot. And obviously, because my mum's obviously watches Bollywood, as all Asian parents do, like she was like come across loads of videos about him and basically people doing like getting in contact with his soul and stuff like that. Like all these conspiracies around how he didn't commit suicide, how he was murdered, and all this sort of stuff. And I was just like, Mum, like, Mum, man, like, stop looking into stuff like that. You're getting. Yeah, it's like it just shows like how not even the younger generation but the older generation get affected by it as well. Yeah, and obviously my mum's getting distracted by these things.
Yeah,
we're getting distracted by our own things.
Yeah, two different things.
So we
but
do
on
have
the same platforms or social media.
Yeah, so this is why we need to remember, like, obviously, social media is social media, and we can't let it distract us from our deen, basically,
from the important things. It's nice to. Would you ever go off it completely?
I think I'd find it hard to like completely go off it. To be fair,
same.
I don't think I can, to be honest. Not that I'm saying I'm addicted to it, because I'm not like. I'm not like on it all the time. That's like some people, but like I do use it every day.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
And as well, you can, like you said, you can use it for good things, like keeping up with the news and stuff like that. Just slightly off topic. But I mention it because I also saw it on social media, but I think it was also in the news and stuff. Did you see about the museum in Turkey that they've turned into a mosque? It's like a really big deal.
I did see like a headline, but I didn't look into it.
Yeah, basically, it was built back in, I think, like the year like 1050 or something, originally, in like the Byzantine Empire.
Yeah.
Which was a Roman Empire, yeah? And then from there, it turned into like, I think it was like something like, so you know in like Christianity, yeah? There's like loads of different, you've got like Catholic, Protestant like Jehovah's Witness, then you've got like different, Greek like Orthodox, sects, like Greek Unorthodox, then you've got like the
Mormons.
I don't know if are they Christians?
I think they are. They believe in Jesus, Esau.
So then you got like Mormons, and you got like, you know, like the Coptic, and stuff, like loads of different ones. So it always confuses me.
There is loads within Christianity. This is why, alhamdulillah, obviously we got like Sunni and Shia, and that's another topic of discussion. But on a whole, we see like eye to eye and we believe in the same things.
Yeah. So
Like,
they're
we believe
very
in one. Obviously, we believe in one God. We believe in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who's a final messenger. Like we have those core values, but with that Christianity, you got all these different sects, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, yeah. So anyway, it started. Hang on, let me just sort this out. Oh, there you go.
To make sure we're still recording.
Yeah. So it started with that, and it was something like a Greek Orthodox church or something, right? Then it changed. It was that for like 500 years. Then it changed under a different rule. It changed to like a Catholic church.
Yeah.
And that it was like that for like a couple of hundred years, and then something else. And then the Ottoman Empire came and like blitzed that whole area.
Something else, man. I need to start watching Ertugrul. Is it Ertugrul?
Yeah. So then they came and changed it into a mosque, which it remained for like ages.
Yeah.
And then I think after that it got made into a church again after that. Like it's gone through loads of periods of time. And anyway, then in like 1939 or something, I think they said it got changed into a museum. And now the current president or prime minister of Turkey, whatever he is, announced yesterday that they have changed it back to a mosque.
A mosque.
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Bro, you know one thing I really want to do? We were supposed to go anywhere. We were going to go this year, but we can't due to COVID. But I do want to go to Turkey and then just see all the mosques, like the architecture, and go to Istanbul.
I'm pretty sure this place is in Istanbul.
Is it? Like, there's so many, like, you see those videos on obviously like Twitter and stuff of these mosques in Turkey, and there's like kids playing and having a good time in the background, and like the parents and grandparents like praying. It's just like the vibes are different, man.
Yeah.
And the mosques are beautiful, man. Like the architecture in some of these places look
Oh
amazing.
yeah, it is in Istanbul as well.
Yeah, so I do really want to go, and inshallah we will go. So yeah, I'll be interested to kind of visit this mosque, man.
It looks unreal. They said like during that period of time, like when it was first built, it was like among one of like the finest buildings to have ever been like made. Yeah, amazing place.
Imagine, man. But what was he saying basically then? Were people kicking off about it then? The fact that...
Oh, no, I just saw it on social media, but stuff like that, like, because I don't watch normal televised news that much, because personally, I think they tell you what they want you to hear and not actually the real news.
Yeah.
So I use social media almost in a news, as a source of news in itself, definitely. Like real news, not TV news.
And I feel like the news you see on TV are only for like massive stories, like news stories. Like you don't see that everyday good news, like wholesome news. Do you know what I mean?
And you don't see stuff like that's relevant to your specific community maybe as well.
Yeah, like especially for the Muslim community.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was good and bad in social media, and I suppose that story you said about that mosque being converted is a really good example.
Yeah, and I think someone in Greece, like some lady who's involved in some Christian religious thing or whatever, she was like, it's really disappointing to see that it's been turned into a mosque from...
Who cares about her opinion?
And as well, like, it happened like over 1,000 years ago. It was a church and whatever.
Yeah, and Turkey's a Muslim country, so...
Turkey's a Muslim country now. Like, no one ever mentions any mosques that got turned into cathedrals and churches.
Yeah.
Spain.
I was going to say that. I was thinking that in my head. Yeah, Spain.
How many churches and stuff? How many mosques? When Spain was, or part of Spain was under Muslim rule, and they built their own mosques and this, that, and the other. When it then got taken over by the Catholics again, how many mosques got burnt down, and how many mosques got turned into cathedrals, and how many? So no one ever mentions that. So I don't think you can really.
Yeah, but I think people find all sorts of reasons to bash Muslims, man, and we're going to face that for the rest of our lives, and future generations are going to face that as well.
Yeah, definitely, man, for sure.
Yeah, but no, it's good for like everyday news like that, and I think more close to home. I just thought of an example, like obviously because of lockdown. Recently, a lot of people have been doing like at home nikahs, like in their garden and stuff, and I feel like that's promoting something that's good and something that's sunnah as well. Because I think people are quite big on the idea of having big weddings and flashy cars and all of that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
obviously COVID-19 and the whole coronavirus situation has almost forced us to have these...
Just on that, yeah. So, you said like about like the big weddings and fancy cars and this, that and the other. I see that being pushed on social media a lot. So a male or a female will have recently have got married and had a big wedding and a big this and a big that. And I say that to say this. Before lockdown, it was something you would see quite often.
Yeah,
wouldn't you? Yeah. So, and now, because you can't have that, and there are still people doing the cars and stuff, but they're being forced to do it small. I've noticed, I don't know if you agree, I've noticed a decline in the amount of pictures and videos that I see on Twitter and Instagram of like big weddings happening with like, oh, they've hired this car or they've done this or done that or whatever, to smaller nikahs happening. And the reason I think that is because the clout is not there.
Yeah. That's
the opportunity to show off.
But you know what
isn't
I feel,
there.
But I agree, there's obviously two sides of the coin, but I feel like it's promoting the beauty of it. Like people are seeing, like they're realising, like, oh,
are they realising though? This is what I'm saying.
I mean, I personally am. Like, if I see it, obviously other people react to it different.
But this is what I'm saying though. I don't think, if I'm honest with you, I don't think. Maybe weddings have declined a little bit in our specific community.
Like South
of
Asian,
Islam,
Muslim, and
or Muslims. Yes, maybe weddings have declined a bit, but the beauty of Islam is our weddings are not necessarily based around the wedding day, but it's based around the ritual of doing a nikah, which can be done like in about 2 minutes.
It can be done in the mosque. It can be in your house,
wherever you want, right? So, do you think, like, what I'm trying to say is, because people are having to have very humble gatherings and operations as opposed to these big lavish things, do you think that's the reason why there's been a decline in people posting photos and videos? Not because there's been less weddings, but actually because there's less things to actually show off about.
I feel like
if you're in your house having your small nikah, are you going to be Snapchatting every 2 seconds look at my Ford Fiesta sat outside, this is what I rolled up to in the wedding? You wouldn't, would you?
Nah, you wouldn't. I feel like I completely agree with what you're saying.
Do you know what I'm trying to say though?
I feel like people are almost being forced to in this situation, and then they're just making the best out of the situation. But I feel like at the same time, people are seeing, again, like not everyone's going to see it that way. I see it that way, obviously, like, because like when I get married, inshallah, like I would want it to be like that. I would want it to be small and quite like intimate with my close family and friends. And I feel like a lot of people are seeing that, but at the same time, a lot of people are being forced to do that anyways. So it is definitely like kind of good and bad. But I feel like the situation that we're in, and because of social media, people are seeing that, and it's quite like wholesome, isn't it? It's nice to see.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't think we are seeing it though. And I don't think we're seeing it because it's not happening, like nikahs and stuff. They are happening. I know they're happening because I know of people.
The reason I said is because I've seen a few examples on social media. That's why. But again, like you said, if situation was normal, you would see a whole lot more of like big fashion weddings.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No, I have seen, like, again, it's,
and the reason they're posting about it is because they're being forced to make it small and humble, as opposed to big and big and lavish.
Hopefully that makes people realise, like, it's a really, like...
Do you know what? More time as well. It's not actually like the bride and groom who are doing the clout chasing.
It's the parents.
It's the parents.
You know what? Your parents will invite, like...
And it's the attendees as well.
They're going to invite everyone. They're going to invite, like, their cousins. They'll invite, like, the person up the road. They'll invite, like, their mum's, like, friend. Like, all sorts.
More time, it's not even the actual people getting married who are doing all of this crazy stuff. It's actually, like, the extended family and whatever. But, that was what I was... Like... I heard of a thing like the other day where there was a girl who was due to get married like during this period, and she'd bought her wedding dress and stuff. I think this is an Asian girl. I'm not sure. This is a story that got told to me. I'm not sure about her background, but I'm guessing it's an Asian girl. And so she bought a dress and stuff and whatever. But because she can't have the big wedding, she's actually now selling her dress.
Really?
And I'm like, what? Okay, well, you can have a wedding up to like 30 people or whatever, or 50 people, whatever it is. Like, you can still wear your dress.
Yeah, just because it's because not many people are going to be there to see it.
And this is exactly what I'm saying. Like, the wedding, like our Asian weddings, are not about the religious ceremony. It's literally like I was going to say something. It's literally like flexing your muscle contest.
Yeah, you know what it is as well. It's like that whole part of that wedding. It's not even about the whole Islamic perspective. We're taking a page from like the Indian culture. They do stuff like that. We're not really supposed to. Obviously, it's a part of our culture. We should be proud. Obviously, us being Bangladeshi, like
I feel like you should invite your community, and like your neighbours and your friends and your family and stuff like that, and you should feed them and whatever. Of course, for sure. But so there's a scholar that I really like, and you know who this is.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to mention it or whatever, but you know who it is. Very knowledgeable guy.
Yeah.
Even he has said, like, someone asked him a question, like, they said they sent a question in, so he does like these question and answer things online on YouTube, and someone sent a question in and said, Sheikh, basically, alhamdulillah, I'm very blessed that I've got a really good job, like I earn like a decent amount of money and stuff like that, and I want a like quite a big wedding with like loads of people and like nice things. Is this permissible to do? And the Sheikh basically turned around and he said, look, what the situation is you shouldn't be excessive. So if your need is to invite 1,000 people, then that's your need. Excessiveness would be if you invited like 1,001. Like you do what you need. There's not like a number on it on like, oh, anything over 100 people is excessive. No, if you've got a massive family, let's just say, and it hypothetically is 1,000 people, all your family's friends,
that's
your community and your neighbours,
case,
it's not excessive. And obviously if you invite them, you need to feed them, you need to make them, give them a place to sit and this, that and the other, all of that stuff. So that's not excessive. But what he said is excessive is if you say, for example, he said if there's like a venue that fits 1,000 people, let's say there's two venues that fit 1,000 people, one of them's say like 20 grand and the other one's like 50 grand. Okay, why is this one 50 grand? Oh, it's because it's got like a nice chandelier, or it's got like a really nice long stone paved driveway where you can park all your nice cars. What you were saying is that is excessive because you don't need a nice big chandelier. You
should basically fulfill your needs without, like you said, being excessive. Like
exactly,
those things are nice to have, but you don't
need
to have
it.
Them.
Exactly. But what you do need is somewhere, a venue that will fit 1,000 people in or seat 1,000 people, and you can get that. You can get two venues that will seat 1,000 people. One will be one price, one will be way more. The excessive part of it comes when you go with the way more for things that you don't require. Do you get it?
I completely agree, and 100%. And this kind of links into another point I wanted to kind of make. It was around like obviously using Dean as a kind of like for clout and like clout chasing and
man,
it's massive in like when it comes to weddings. Obviously people want to have flashy cars, people want to seem rich in the eyes of other people that don't necessarily care about them that much,
mate. And I think, like, obviously I can't tell the future, but I think from now until the day I die, I will never understand the feeling of trying to impress someone who you don't even know.
It's a waste of your time. Like, why do it? Like,
and your money.
Point? Yeah, what's the point? Like, who you're trying to impress? At the end of the day, we're like, you should.
If you ask any Asian aunties, they'll be like, "Yeah, your father's sister's husband's sister's."
Buy your fufu, like,
did you not know? God, obviously, like your brother's sister's dog's goldfish. Duh.
That's the thing, man. Like, the only person. Obviously we should only praise Allah and we should only try to impress Allah, and at the end of the day that's it. Obviously like our parents and close family members, but anyone else, like, people aren't that invested in us Do you know what I mean?
And more time as well, like, I really feel like 80% of the people that will turn up to, let's say, your wedding, like, if it's a big wedding,
Yeah.
by big wedding, I mean, like, literally, like, 5, 6, 7, 800 people plus, or whatever,
Yeah.
probably even, it probably starts at even less than 500. 80% of them, you'll literally, in your whole lifetime, you might meet them, like, maybe once or twice again.
You know, like, the funny thing is, I remember
More
going to
than
weddings
likely.
and stuff, and, like, you meet someone, they're like, oh, like, do you remember me? You were this small. I just last week,
And I'm like,
thing. I was
no,
like, I don't know who
don't
you are.
remember.
Yeah.
I know, probably never.
And you
ever
never
meet
see them again. You never see them again after that wedding.
Bro, I've got cousins, first cousins, who I've never met. I know they exist. I've never met them.
Mad. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying about, this is my first cousin, yeah? And how do you think I'm going to remember, like, next man?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Or meet next man? Well, I don't even know. I've got first cousins who I've never met.
Yeah, this is the thing, man. Like, it's people love clout chasing, man. At the end of the day, we need to humble ourselves. We need to remember what's important. Obviously, like, you should have a balance. You know, we're humans. We desire certain things. You know, we want nice things. We want nice weddings. We want a nice venue. So we should obviously still go after those, but we need to find a balance and humble ourselves a little bit. But that's when it comes to weddings. But obviously, people use religion as clout for other things as well.
I feel like in Asian weddings, religion almost comes secondary.
Yeah, all the time. You know, like,
It's always
the actual nikah bit, like when the imams obviously.
It's like 2 seconds long, and then
exactly,
that's it. Everyone's forgotten about it.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's mad. It's mad. Like, it's obviously after that happens, there is a reason to celebrate because you're but this is where it's got so misconstrued. Is you should be celebrating the bringing together of two people in a marriage, yeah. But in our weddings, that is not what's celebrated. It's not. You do the nikah and then it's finished, yeah. Then comes the whole, look how much money we've got.
And then, like, the thing about, like, the food, like, the food was disgusting. Like, mozzarella and all this sort of stuff.
Mate, you could go to a wedding where they gold plate every single piece of chicken that you have. It could be like 24 carat rice, and still, I guarantee you, someone will talk rubbish about it afterwards.
Yeah.
You can't please everyone.
That's like the toxic trait of our culture, man.
Massively.
People find a reason to fault anything.
But that whole, the way this leads back to social media is that whole process of doing this, of being this lavish in a wedding, is really romanticized online.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak for girls because I'm not a female, but I feel like females fall for that trap more than males do. Like, they see it and they're like, oh, I'd love that at my wedding.
I think the thing about, like, women is, like, girls when they're growing up, they think about weddings. They want a nice weddings because obviously that's just obviously how it is in society. Like, they think about this when they're growing up, they plan it, and it in more times in weddings, even when it comes to not even Asian weddings, like obviously white people wedding, the woman always makes the main decisions.
And as well, but I don't think it's necessarily, all right, let's say a girl is born, a female is born, and they're like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15, 20 years old or whatever. I don't think it's necessarily their fault because it's like a circle that keeps going around. So they will see someone who's slightly older than them has posted about all this lavish stuff they're doing. Exactly. Then they think, oh, I want to do that. So when it gets to their time to do it and they do it, another girl who's maybe 5-10 years younger than them will see it and go, I want to do that, and then she'll do it, and then so on and so on and so on. So I don't think it's not
their fault. It's just
innately
society.
built into them.
Yeah.
It's society is the problem, and where like this whole idea of being lavish online is heavily romanticized in a bad way.
Yeah.
Well, being lavish should never be.
I think people just use obviously social media as a platform to showcase that, and because so many people are on social media, people see it, and when people see something, they want to do the same.
It's mad,
This is where, like, I feel like obviously we talked a lot about weddings and stuff, but obviously when it comes to, there's other like areas within our deen that gets, obviously people kind of do it for clout as well.
Yeah.
I mean, can you what other things can you think of when it comes to kind of clout chasing in our religion, especially online?
Fake shakes.
Oh, I thought of that as well. Like, I thought if you don't answer that, at least I would say something. But
Fake shakes.
I feel like giving a platform to the wrong people.
Yeah. Do you want to drop a name?
I think it's very relevant, especially now, because it only happened like 2 days ago. But the whole situation with Fatih.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not a sheikh. He's a Quran reciter, which obviously we were talking about the other day. But because he does work in that field of religion, he almost gets like, incorrectly, he gets branded as a person of knowledge. He's not.
Yeah.
He's the equivalent. He's the religious equivalent of like a pop star.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Before we kind of get into it as well, like, we're not going to ever expose his sins too much. We're going to obviously touch upon it because it's public knowledge. Something's happened, but you know, we're just voicing our opinions, aren't we? And
talking about what we've
seen and what we've heard, and how it kind of relates to social media. So we're not obviously going to
out him,
we're not out.
And we don't even know if it's true. Who knows?
Yeah,
Allah knows best. We don't know.
Yeah, obviously from what we've seen, it's quite horrific, and I was shocked because, like, I listened to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think we should necessarily talk about what it is.
People know what it is.
People know what it is. We don't need to.
What it is. I think
I was also
shocked.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I saw one comment though underneath like all of the stuff, basically saying, "Oh, I met him once, like a few years ago or whatever, and I was seriously underwhelmed." And I was like,
"What's
that meant to mean?"
Yeah, he's a person. This is what I'm like. This is where social media gives a platform for people like him, and he may have done it intentionally or not. Obviously, like, there's like two sides to it. Some people use religion to build like up a following, if that makes sense, and some people may just put their content out there
and then switch it.
Yeah,
like the girl with the headscarf. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
I don't know her name,
but
there was a
like an influencer
or a blogger or whatever,
hijabi influencer,
and her whole identity, her whole online identity was built around being like a modern female hijabi, to the point where she actually has an actual company that sells hijabs.
Yeah.
And then, like, this was going back, I don't know, a couple of months or whatever, she released some video or something saying how she's made the decision now to not wear a hijab after something crazy, bro, like 10 or 15 years of wearing it.
I saw that.
Yeah?
I saw it, yeah.
Now, I watched the video, like some of the video, and she didn't explain why. Not that she has to, because at the end of the day, bro, like, it's not affecting me. I don't care.
It's her decision. It's her decision at the end of the day.
But it was like in that community, that was big news.
Yeah, massive. And because she had a massive following, especially a lot of them were young as well.
And I think a lot of people felt like a lot of her. I think her follower base. Actually, no, her follower base, from what I gathered, stuck with her, and they were like, "Yeah, we understand, whatever." And but she got a lot of stick because she had based her whole identity, she had built her social presence and probably her bank account based on being a modern female hijabi.
She monetized off it
to the point where she'd got probably what she wants in terms of a social presence and a very healthy bank statement.
Yeah,
and then she just took it off and decided to. But this is the problem I have, right, with that. Is, okay, you don't have to justify to anyone why you're taking it off, putting it on, whatever. Yeah, that's your conversation to have with Allah.
Yeah.
It's not to have with anyone else,
Yeah.
or maybe your husband or your dad or something. I don't know, but not anyone other than that, right? But here's my problem: is the way that is being, the way that she portrayed taking it off, is giving the wrong impression to other impressionable females, telling them, yes, all right, do it if you want.
Yeah.
When you're just how you don't have to explain yourself to us, you in that case as well, as a responsibility, you have a responsibility as a role model to young females to not give off that impression to them as well, that yes, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not okay.
If you base it on religion, it's not okay. Like, obviously, I know it's a sensitive
whatever
topic.
you do, you do. That's up to you.
Yeah.
but don't influence people like that.
Yeah.
If they don't, they look to you as that influence.
You can't we can't control her actions. Like, she chooses to do something and she does it, and that is her choice.
Yeah.
But she shouldn't. Then
and that's not the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is the influence that she actually has on other
others,
people.
Yeah, on others. Yeah.
To perhaps follow the same route. That's the problem. What she does, bro. If I'm on it, I don't care. You don't care.
Yeah, we don't care.
No one really cares. If I'm honest with you, no one cares. It probably except herself.
Yeah, that's it.
And it is down to her what she wants to do with it. But it's the influence to other impressionable females. That's the bit I have the problem with.
Yeah.
Don't turn around and tell them it's okay. They should make their own mind up of whether they want to do that or not.
Yeah, and I think when you have an influence like that, you have to be very careful, because you could
And she was all okay while she was having the influence of the actual hijab itself, building your brand, your identity, your website, all of that stuff around it, which is cool. But once you've achieved that, you've almost like backtracked, and which again is fine.
It's like
but you've told everyone else that it's okay
you've gained
to do
this
that.
following. Like, one of the reasons you've got this following is because obviously you're influencer. People looked up to you as a Muslim woman with a headscarf, with a hijab. Like, you built your.
It was giving a voice to people who were wearing a headscarf, who might have been thinking, like, maybe I'm in a lower position than everyone else because I won't have the same opportunities and this, that, and the other. Then they saw this person who also wore a headscarf, but she was actually very successful.
Yeah.
So in that regard, she was a great role model. But then when she took it off and said, yeah, it's okay to do it.
Nah. she's built up this following based on that. That one thing. Not that one thing specifically, but like...
That was a major part
of it. And obviously now that's changed. It's mad. And obviously going back to Fatih as well, like, he's just a reciter, and I feel like social media makes it easy to build up this image of someone. You almost like make them out to be like a celebrity. And then obviously give them so much power, and I think obviously I can't speak for Fatih or like whatever, 'cause again we don't know if it's true or not, but some people take that to their heads a lot, and then they might influence that kind of power that they have, or the fact that people look up to them. They might play on that.
Did he come out and say anything? Did he address any?
I don't think so. Not as far as we know right now.
Shall I quickly just check?
Yeah, just double check, man.
Let's have a look. Because I'll be honest, I saw it after me and you were talking about it, and then I just kind of didn't.
We just thought we'd touch. We don't know too much about it, but we thought we'd mention it. Like, again, like other influencers.
No, he hasn't. Nothing.
Like other influencers like might say like the wrong things. Do you know what I mean?
But then also at the same time, like, I kind of feel bad for them in the sense where, if you're an influencer, do you ever really think or imagine like the level of influence that you might actually have over a group of people?
Yeah,
like, can you actually ever fathom that?
It's hard to. I reckon sometimes it's hard to forget, because these people they're living their lives as everyday people, right? They go. That is their job.
Yeah.
They do that. Obviously, they might have a family.
They are human at the end of the day.
They might have like kids. Obviously, they got their own family. They go about their daily life normally, but they record themselves. Whether that's through blogs, through Snapchat stories, whatever. And then everyone could see that. And I think sometimes they forget. But the thing is, when you're an influencer, you need to remember these things, because there's so many people that look up to you, and they shouldn't really look up to you.
Well, it's part of being a responsible influencer. The responsibility part surely comes in the job description of being an influencer. If you're a cleaner, one of your responsibilities is, say for example, with COVID now, is to sanitize all the taps on the sink, for example. You're a cleaner, that's one of your job responsibilities. Is it good enough to say, I forgot?
No, that's your core, that's your main one of your main things.
Exactly,
responsibilities,
right? Because you're a cleaner, and now one of your responsibilities as being a cleaner, because of COVID, is you have to sanitize the taps that everyone touches after every use, or whatever, or something along that, hypothetically. Now, if a blogger or an influencer turns around and says, I kind of forgot how much influence I have, well, just like how the cleaner has to clean the taps, it's also your responsibility to be aware of how much influence you have. It's literally your job title.
They probably a lot of them do get complacent.
So when they say, "Oh, I forgot," is that an acceptable answer?
No, it's not. It's because, like, you know, they may not have had the intention to begin with, but they build it up, and a lot of people follow them. So they need to take into account that.
Like, would a postman say, "I forgot to deliver the letter"?
No, because it's their job, and as an influencer, you need to be responsible.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a massive thing, man.
So an influencer has to be responsible for their influence.
Yeah,
Right.
essentially, yeah.
So
Crazy, man, crazy.
It is, man. It is. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. But yeah, bro, like, social media, man.
Yeah, you know, another thing I just thought of as well with social media
Yeah.
is the fact that a lot of things become normalized. A lot of haram things get normalized on social media. And you know, I was just thinking just now. I'm
gonna give you a sick example. I'll let you finish.
All right.
I'll let you land.
What I was going to say is, like, you know, in the first episode, we're talking about like our backstory and like, our background and where we grew up and stuff. Like, where we grew up, obviously, we were like around white people. We didn't really have any Muslim friends, or like, we weren't part of any like groups of where there's Muslim people.
Yeah.
And in that sense, it's easy to identify what's wrong and what's right, because our like white counterparts, our friends, our white friends, are doing certain things like drinking, going out clubbing, and we know that's wrong, right?
Yeah,
and this is where we stay away from it. But again, like with social media, it kind of ties in. But when you're a Muslim and you grow up in a Muslim environment, when you see other Muslims clubbing, going out, etc., drinking, you might think to yourself, "Oh, they're doing it, so it's okay." And it's the same with social media, because on social media you might see certain Muslims doing certain things, not even Muslims, like just people in general.
Yeah.
And because you see it all the time, and it's almost like normalised in society, like it's easy to fall into that trap of going down that route yourself.
It is, man. It is crazy. And I think we forget actually how normalised haram things really are. And the example I was going to give you is, right, so the scholar I was talking to you about earlier, same scholar, someone asked him a question, a female, she was like, I do like henna makeup on people's hands and stuff for females. And she was like, I've got social media pages. And she says basically the henna goes from like their fingertips, sometimes up to about their elbows, but sometimes about like maybe halfway up their arm.
Yeah.
And this is my business. So to promote that, I take pictures like not of like the arm of the henna itself. So you never see any faces or anything. You just see the arm and hands.
Yeah.
And I put it on like my social media as like a portfolio kind of thing.
Yeah, to obviously show off her artwork and show off her work.
Her work, right? And so basically she was like, obviously I'm not sure if males will see this, but if they do, and obviously it's just a hand or an arm, is this haram? And he actually said, yes, it is, because an arm or hands are part of the female's auras.
Yeah.
So that's just a hand.
Yeah.
Or an arm, or whatever.
This is where they say like the joke about the ankles, like obviously.
Yeah, right. So that's just a hand or a thing. But more time, we don't think twice about posting a picture of full body, like even with clothes on, full body, tight jeans, tight. And I'm not talking about just females. I'm talking about males
men
as well.
Yeah.
Shorts need to be of a certain length.
Men have to be modest as well. Like,
bruv,
you know,
aura exists for both sexes.
And it's not even the physical as well. Modesty applies to like mentally, your thoughts, what you think, like how you talk, everything.
Yeah.
And like some of the stuff you see on social media, people talk about certain things and
so
they don't have no shame. But
I could be, bro, me and you could very easily go on holiday, go to the beach, where obviously we're wearing shorts, post up a picture of me and you because we're friends.
Yeah.
Like, nice day on the beach in
lads
wherever the country is, in some hot country. Post it on Insta or Twitter or whatever. More time, my shorts don't even come past my knees.
Yeah.
And now, how many people have seen it?
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
But we don't think twice about it.
Yeah, so many things are normalised.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's dangers of you know, we have to be careful. We do have to be conscious when we're on social media, I think. And obviously, there's so much stuff is easily accessible on social media. So much wrong stuff, and like just one random example, this especially affects like teenagers, like pornography and stuff like that. Like it's so easily accessible. That's obviously like big example, but other
Yeah.
things are normalised as well, like minor things.
But even things like that, you see soft versions of that, of pornography, even coming up on like
Oh,
Insta.
bro, you know, one thing I just thought of
Even
just
on
now.
Insta.
Do you remember that film that came out fairly recently, like 365 Days or whatever?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I've not seen it. Obviously,
Neither.
it's not my cup of tea, but like, I've heard of it, and it glorifies like kidnapping and rape apparently, and the people are like simping all over the guy, the main actor, and like the story, but it's
And that's on Netflix.
on Netflix, yeah. And then you see,
There you go. It
like,
tells you all you need to know about like
Yeah.
how accessible like all these things are.
Bro, I
that
saw
we're supposed to
a really funny picture as well recently. Or I think it's a video actually. It's like someone posted it on Twitter, or it was off their Snapchat or something. Basically, so this girl was watching that film, 365 Days. It was in her living room, and she had like her like mum or her auntie or grandma or someone. There's two older women watching it, and they're watching it. They weren't even complaining. Like, they were proper into it, man.
What the hell?
It's quite funny, man. It's quite funny. But again, that shows how things are becoming normalised.
Yeah, that's it, man. So the
I remember, like,
normalisation
as a kid, bro, like when you're watching a film or a TV show and it's like a kissing scene comes on, you look away straight away. You have to change the channel.
Bro, let me tell you something that's so funny, yeah. I remember once when I was a kid, I must have been, bro, I don't know, like maybe like 13, 14, something like that. And I was watching the Brit Awards on TV at that time, and I was downstairs in the living room and I was watching it. And you know MIA, the female rapper, yeah? So at the time, she was doing, her and someone else was doing like a performance, yeah? And at the time, she was pregnant. She came out on stage with her big pregnant self, wearing like this like leotard kind of thing, hella exposed, like breasts out, everything, yeah? And she was dressed like really, like not modestly at all whatsoever. She had this big pregnant belly sticking out. Anyway, my mum was in the kitchen, and my mum she was going from the kitchen through the living room to go upstairs, and as she walked through the living room, obviously she saw what was on the TV, and she was like, "What the hell are you watching? Like, what are you doing? Like, turn that up." And I was like, in my head, I was thinking like, yeah, like I can see why she thinks it's a bit mad.
You know what?
And she was, the way she was like dancing and stuff as well. Bro, it was just,
You know what's funny as well?
ridiculous.
You know what's funny? Yeah, like the whole award show, that could be the one bad scene, and your mum happened to walk in on that exact scene.
It was the only bad scene.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
Besides that, nothing else happened. It was just like normal.
And they think like,
everyone was dressed in suits and stuff, except for her, who on her performance came out like some flipping stripper or something.
And they think you're some sort of dirty-minded.
Yeah, bro. And it was so embarrassing, man. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, that was an example.
It's crazy, man.
We've given a couple of examples, actually. But yeah, man. What have we covered today?
We just had a chat about social media, innit? Just what's good, what's bad.
Spoke about using weddings online for clout.
Yeah, weddings for clout, and just Dean in general for clout.
I think I've invented the word, the haramization of... Have I got that wrong?
Forgot. Normalisation.
Normalisation.
Yeah, normalisation of haram. Yeah. I was like,
Haramization.
I thought you were inventing a new word. We just spoke about briefly. We didn't get to like cover it into too much detail, but like giving certain influencers, like obviously they use the platform in the wrong way, I suppose.
Yeah, but some use it in a really good way.
We didn't really cover that today. But Mufti Mink, Mufti Mink. But again, people people think it's good and bad, but like, I personally think he's got good reminders on there.
Oh yeah, Mufti Mink's a legend, bro, and he obviously is a scholar who's got the reputation of an influencer, but he's not an influencer. He's a scholar.
He's a scholar,
with a big following, huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a really good. Like some people use it for like really good things. Yeah. Some people use it for really bad things.
We didn't really cover like the good. We talked about like how good news is shown. Obviously, talked about the mosque. I was talking about like the home nikahs and stuff. Obviously, like it's easy for like learning new things, educational content. You see so many like good news stories as well on social media. So it's not all bad, but I feel like we didn't really cover too much of it, did we? Like the good kind of influencers.
We spoke a lot about the bad side of.
Yeah, maybe we'll come back to it another day.
There are a lot of good sides, but like with everything, I suppose, the good aspects of a certain thing are never spoken about. It's always the bad things that are spoken about.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, so I used to sell cars. Yeah. When like brand new, very expensive cars, and when these cars used to get delivered to the people who were buying them, they would never turn around and say, "Oh, yeah, I had an amazing experience. The car turned up and it was pristine. It was really clean, and the delivery driver was really friendly." And da. Never.
Yeah.
But the slightest speck of dirt on the floor mat, or the slightest drop of rain on the bonnet, it's like all hell would break loose.
Yeah, I think that's just...
So any time there's negativity, it's always spoken about more than...
I think sadly that is society today. People always try to find flaws and faults of people and things. No one really looks at the good too much, and we've kind of done that today as well.
Oh mate, we've spoken about like 90% negativity.
Yeah. No, I think we will definitely come back to it. There's so much good. Like, there's so much you can learn. Like, I've learned like various, for example, I learned surahs online just by reading them online and listening to other recitations. Like, there's other...
Even just things like, I follow like Instagram accounts. Literally all they do is they'll put like a background picture of like a sunset or a nice building or whatever, just with like a very simple quote from the Quran.
Yeah.
Just a very simple one. So I'll be scrolling.
Yeah. And you know, one thing like on social media, like on Twitter, is like you follow certain people, like people always put reminders of different hadiths, different stories.
Yeah, bro.
Some people even put reminders like, oh, like, it's Maghrib, go pray. And I really rate that.
Yeah, 100%,
I really rate
man.
that because
Definitely.
they're using it in a good way.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, these are small things like that.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Those ones.
Yeah, shout out to
I was going to say them, man, but some of them are probably females.
Shout out to those people that do that, because I really respect that. When I see like people giving reminders of different surahs and having like people give reminders to have sabr, to be patient in certain things, and we see those reminders, it's quite uplifting. And when people...
To be fair, you see them quite often.
You see them often,
actually.
Yeah. And
well, depending on like who you follow, obviously, but... I see them quite often.
Yeah, I see them as well, obviously, because you follow certain people. But I really rate that. I really respect that. Yeah. And when people say like, "Oh, it's Maghrib, go pray," or like when it's...
We just don't voice it enough.
No, we don't voice it enough. And when it's like Jummah, people will be like, "Oh, it's Friday today, recite Surah Kahf," and stuff like that. Like,
reminders, man. Yeah, sick.
We'll come back to it, I think, talk about the goods. And even when it comes to influencers, there's good influencers who use the platform in the right way as well.
Definitely. I think it's just such a broad topic though that it's impossible to cover in like, we're just over an hour. It's impossible to cover the effects of social media in 1 hour. There's too much to talk about.
There is.
We'll save that for another time.
This is just a scratch on the surface,
man,
kind of type thing. But no, I enjoy talking about stuff like this. It's such a big topic for us and people of our age and our generation. And I think like the main kind of takeaway is try not to waste your time too much. Like, remember to obviously, I'm going to sound like a dad or something, but obviously we have to pray and things like this and expand our knowledge in our religion and not get distracted by social media where we're taking away time from that.
Agree.
But yeah, man, it was interesting to talk about.
Nice. Well, we're coming up to 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Cool.
It's our longest one yet.
Oh, it was only a second. But yeah, no, it flew by though. I feel like it has.
It's gone well quick, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Anyway, peace out.
Yeah, thanks for listening.